win of the season. He has one loss. That to the Yanks. Top personal score, Omar Vizquel hitting one deep. Stays in the ballpark, but Kenny Lofton, who had tripled, comes home to score. 1-zip Indians. 2 batters later, he hangs a curveball to Jim Thome. That is candy. 2-run home run. Thome's 19th of the season. 3-zip Indians. Bottom first, White Sox down 3-1. Man on second for Paul Konerko. Little flare, gets down. He had 4 hits. Miguel Ordonez scores. White Sox down 3-2. Top 5-6 to Indians. Thome. That has tremendous height. Second home run of the game. 12th multi-homer game of his career. 7-2 Indians. Bottom 6, Sox down 7-2. Ordonez delivering. No, Lofton. Homers are easy. Making outs, that's hard. Bottom 7, Sox down 8-4. Frank Thomas has not given up. Big hurt off Justin Spear, the solo home run. Thomas is 17th of the year. Sox are down 8-5. Turn over the lineup. Thomas at the plate again, this time against Steve Karsay. 103 different players this season have hit at least 2 home runs in a game. That's Thomas' second, 18th. Sox down 8-6. Still bottom 9, 2 outs. Jeff Abbott. Jeff Abbott, are you going to be here or no? Thome, 3 unassisted. Let us eat. The Indians hold on and win by a count of 8-6. Baldwin gives up 6 runs in 4+ innings, his shortest outing of the season. More on him in a bit. Thome reaches the 20-homer mark for the 7th straight season, ties Larry Doby's club record. Steve Karsay gets 5 outs for his 16th save, and Cleveland's going to have to go at least another week without cleanup hitter Manny Ramirez. Most recent MRI showed hemorrhaging in the muscle. Until he returns, manager Charlie Manuel says, quote, "I'll write down lineups like I always do and watch ESPN on TV and wish I had Mark McGwire." Ramirez hasn't played since May 29th.
Yankees and Red Sox. Jose Vizcaino in the dugout with his new team. Just got the parental permission slip in. We're in the first. Jose Hoffman is over to third. David Cohn's pitch is down low. This Turner couldn't get a glove on it. Hoffman trying to score, coming in head first, and he's safe. 1-zip. Boston in front. Now Boston up 2-0. In the second, Scott Brocious going up the middle. Nomar, Garcia, Parra, Bueno. Bounces at once. Good scoop by Offerman. Brocious is out. We see again. Twirls, throws, good hose, good play, and everyone's happy with the play. 4th inning, 2-0. Cohn to Manny Alexander. Reaches out, got a piece of it. Derek Jeter backing up to left, get it. Here comes Shane Spencer running and making the play instead. We're in the 6th. Boston up 4-2, 2 out. Runners at the corners. Trot Nixon, husband of former RPM Tonight employee. Jose, also known as Jorge Posada, there to make the play. 4-2 in the 7th. Jose Vizcaino's first at bat as a Yank. The middle, Jeff Fry can't make the play. Fry charged with an error. Scott Brocious scores. 4-3 Boston. Tied at 5 in the 7th. Loaded up for Jose Hoffman. Mike Stanton, that's ball 4. And Boston's up 6-5. Pedro Martinez throwing some signs. Next batter, Jeff Fry. Stanton low again. Walks another in. 7-5 Boston. Next batter, Trot Nixon. Stanton to him. This one is a strike, but it swung on. Over O'Neill's head. Ground rule double. 9-5 Boston. The lead was cut 9-7, but that's how it ended. The Red Sox are winners here, so Boston's 4-game losing streak is done with. And the Red Sox now a half game back in New York in the East. Second inning, Eric Chavez against Mike Mussina. Those leading here 2-1, by the way. Chavez, that's a double. That'll work. We're just getting rolling here. In the 4th, at the plate again, 2-2 game. Single to right. He's got a double. He's got a single. We're setting you up for the 5th inning. A's on top, 6-2 against Mussina again. Toughest thing to do is that. Triple. It's into the vacancy, and then to the wall. Chula! Brady Anderson can't come up with it in time to stop it from his triple. A homer away from the cycle. Going to the 7th, 8-2 the A's against Jose Mercedes. Home run. Anderson just watches it go up and out. That there, cycle for Eric Chavez. More on him in a second. Orioles down 9-2. T.J. Matthews on the mound. Albert Bell up the middle. Randy Velarde to stop. The flip to Miguel Tejada. Fancy double play. A's win it by a count of 10-3. Chavez will be first ever cycle at Oakland Coliseum. The 4th in the majors this season. And the last one goes way back to Sunday. Mike Lansing with that. Oakland has won 8 straight. Longest win streak since 1994. The Esteban Yan against Alex Rodriguez. And he hits it deep to center. John Mabry, Ricky Henderson, they both will score. A-Rod has a double on the play. 4-0 Mariners in front here. Still 4-0. Mariners Doug Creek on the hill. He's going against John Olerud. Olerud into the vacancy. Mike Cameron coming to score for Seattle. A-Rod scores as well. How about Edgar Martinez? Olerud has himself a double at 7-0. Top of 5, now 7-2. Runners at second and third. Aaron Seeley. Gerald Williams goes to third. John Mary, newbie, couldn't hang on, then throws wildly. Military precision. 2 runs scored. Devil Rays down 7-4. Mariners up 7-5 here. Runner at first, Arthur Rose to Bubba Trammell, and he's leaving. That is more beer for us. Mariners win it by a count of 8-5. Olerud goes 2 for 4. In the Giants, it's our showcase, and here we go. The pitcher, Garrett Stevenson, 0 for 23 as a batter this year, 1 for 24 because that thing somehow did loop into play. Eric Davis comes to score. 1-0 the Cardinals, bottom of 3, same score. Jim Evans in first. Kirk Reeder tried to pick him off. Good throw. Watch the sweep. And then the sweep again. Good athletic play. Dives in under the tag. He is safe. Next pitch. Davis. 1 hopper. Picked up by Rich Aurelia. Forced at second. Ends the inning. 5th inning. Same score. And Snow going to the gap. Edmonds not able to cut this one off. Snow winds up with the double on the play. And 2 batters later, we counted. Edmonds would redeem himself. Snow's out on third now. Aurelia, the deep drive. Edmonds back to the wall and yanks it home before conking into the wall. The game remains tied at 1. We look again to see how Czech Republic women aged 18 to 40 feel. They like the concentration. We're in the 7th. 2 runners on in scoring position, 2 out. Stevenson to Aurelia, and he is choking on a splinter. Struck out 7, walked just 1. Now an interesting situation, bottom of 7, tie game, 2 out. Ray Langford's on second. Pitcher coming to the plate. Cardinals bullpen was ready, but LaRussa says, Stevenson, you blooped it in before. This time you can ground out 6-3. He did. It's not what he hoped for. We're going to the 8th. The first batter Stevenson facing, Doug Mirabelli, a 0 for 13 slump on a 1 for 14 slump. He hit a home run. 2-1 Giants at that point. They got a couple empty netters and run it by a count of 4-1. And Kirk Reeder moved to 5-4 with this win. He's now 5-0 all-time at Busch Stadium in 7 career starts. A 2.06 ERA in those games. Garrett Stevenson lost to a National League team for the first time this year. The record now 9-3 overall. They're played inside TV sets, and in this case, you see him with a bat against Brandon Cole with 2 on, and Dahl the other way. Travis Lee and Damian Miller will score. 6-2, Arizona in front of the Fathers. We're in the 4th. Fathers down 4. Eric Owens at the plate, and he hits it. The people in the stands. His 4th. Media pressure will be intense for his 5th 2-run game. Tony Womack tripled his first 2 trips to the plate. Here he singles, so he has 2 triples and a single. Hanley Frias scores. Arizona's up 7-6. Now it's 10-6 all of a sudden. 2 on for Tony Womack. Womack tripled in his first. This time he gets out because Al Martin makes the play, robs him of extra bases. Arizona insurance runs. Damian Miller way back. 11-6 after that. 11-8 is your final. Womack 3 for 6. He tripled in his first 2 at-bats. Arizona improves to 20-6 against the Padres since the start of the '99 season. They're all done playing this season. Season series over with. How about the Dodgers and the Astros? Top of 3, 2-1 Dodgers. Octavio Dotel against Mark Russellanic. Going to right. Lance Berkman coming. Very fine play. Let's take another look. Now let's look at the next batter. Gary Sheffield. Sheffield, high fastball, going to left, way back. And to those people who stood there to make the catch, they're just going to get beer. Sheffield's 22nd of the year, 3-1. 4th inning, now it's 3-2. Carlos Perez against Julio Lugo. Lugo going to left. And that, too, is gone. His first major league home run. Let's stop the game and give him the ball. No. Let's go to Dotel against Eric Karros. Karros, deep drive, also gone. 21st for him. Tied at 6. Jose Cabrera to Sheffield. That is a large plate of meat out of the stadium. Hit the light standard, just went away. 23rd of the year for him. Sheffield 4 for 5, 2 homers. 3rd multi-homer game of the year.
Braves, bottom 4th, 1-0 Cubs. Kerry Wood on the mound. Andrew Jones check swing. But how about Gracie laying out and making the catch? Top 5th there, Sam. It's Tom Glavine. He delivers. Sammy 2 for 3. Damon Buford is going to score, and the Cubs up 3-0. Bottom of the 6th, 2 outs. Chipper Jones off of Wood, but they're so, he can play some defense when he needs to. Still 3-zip Cubs. 3-1 Cubs. John Rocker coming on in relief, and trouble is following. Top 9, 2 on. Damon Buford singling up the middle. Gary Matthews scores. It's 4-1 Cubs. Buford 2 for 5, 2 ribs on the night. Bobby Cox, Leo Mazzoni. We have a Malux moment. Still top 9, bases loaded. Mark Grace. Ball 4, forces home a run. 5-1 Cubs. Next batter, Rocker. Brant Brown plunks him, forces home another run. 6-1 Cubs. 30 pitches, 20 balls. Bobby Cox gets the hook. Cubs win it 8-1. Good pitching would be Kerry Wood. 100. Piazza off Kurt Schilling. A 2-run shot is 20th. Schilling allowed 3 runs in the first 2 innings and settled down 5 scoreless after that. That was long. Top 6, 3-3. Outlighter to Pat Burrell. Rhymes with Pearl. Everybody in the Philly dugout exhaled, and it just barely gets over the fence. 4-3 Phils. Bottom 8, 5-3 Phils. 2 in scoring position for Robin Ventura. Robin Ventura. Can I get some love for Gary Ward and the OSU Cowboys, please? Derek Bell scoring. Edgardo Alfonso scoring. Knotted up at 5. Top 9. Still tied, bases loaded for the Phils against John Franco and Kevin Jordan. Cheap RBI takes ball 4. Phillies lead at 6-5. Next batter, Armando Benitez now pitching to Pat Burrell. Rhymes with Pearl. Second and 2 nights in the 9th off Benitez. This one a grand slam, first of his career. 10-5 Phillies, and they win it.
Game was televised. We're in the 2nd, scoreless, nobody out, 1 on. Tony Clark against Calvin Escobar, and Clark just to Carlos Delgado, and that's 3-6 and back to 3, double play. After that play happened, this play occurred. Bottom of the 4th, same score, 2 out. Minute 1st and 3rd, Brad Fulmer against Brian Moeller. That's cheating. That's right, it is a balk. Al Clark makes the call, 1-0 on Moeller's balk. We're in the 8th, 5-0 Blue Jays, 1 out. Damian Easley against Escobar. And then going down the left field line, Shannon Stewart's on the move for this. Reaches into the stands, yanks it back. That is a fine catch. 8th inning, 5-0 Blue Jays, nobody out. Carlos Delgado's at the plate. 24 home runs so far this season. Es un grande hombre. His 25th. That leads the American League. 6-0. The Blue Jays up into the 2nd deck. 6-0 Blue Jays. Still Escobar trying to go the whole way. Dean Palmer couldn't hit that. Blue Jays win it 6-0. That there was Kelvin Escobar's first shutout in 55 career starts. I feel proud, he said. Winds up. Tree died to make that bat. Next inning, Brian Johnson, the plate against Washburn, with Johnson whiffing. He's going away. 4th inning, 2 out. Jermaine Dye at the plate. Nobody on. Dye going to left field. Darren Erstad, the sliding catch. That's nothing compared to what he does later. Game remains scoreless. 5th inning, runner at first, 2 out. Erstad to the plate and then to the fence. 2-zip, his 14th, though not in this game, so that would be a record. 9th inning, 3-0 Anaheim. Troy Percival pitching. Carlos Beltran. He rips that off of Big Mo's glove. Ray Sanchez scores. 3-1 is the score. The Angels lead. Next batter, 2 on. Jermaine Dye. Going to left. Erstad. You saw him go up and catch. Here he goes back. He deprives him of a home run and conks into that fan as well. Angels win it by a count of 3-1. Jared Washburn gets the win. He's 3-1. Goes 8 in the 3rd innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Erstad has 4 homers and 11 RBI in 8 games against Kansas City this season, but who didn't know that? Twins, Rangers, 2nd inning. Game tied at 1. Brad Radke on the mound. Runners at 1st and 2nd. Royce Clayton taking that thing to center field. Jock Jones. That's a good play. Robs Clayton of a base hit. Saves a couple runs. Run the 5th, tied at 3. Radke still in. Dave Martinez to short. Christian Guzman couldn't get it. Into center field. Rafi Palmeiro comes. David Segui coming around. The Rangers go up by a count of 5-3 as they throw it around. 9th inning, 7-5. Twins are down. John Wetland to close it out. Butch Husky the chopper. Luis Salicea, good range, and gets the force. The Rangers hang on to win it 7-5. Wetland.
Bottom of the 3rd, no score. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Dante Bichette goes down the line on Rolando Arrojo. Scores Pokey Reese and Barry Larkin, and the Reds come up with a 2-0 lead. In the fourth, one out, man at first. Todd Helton gets a hold of a Denny Nagel pitch. Helton came in batting .396, deep to left center. Junior, bare hands, plays it off the wall to Barry Larkin. Play at the plate, and Larry Walker is toast him.
Well, that's a beautiful play, and it starts with Griffey, who races back here. Not only does he barehand this ball a la Omar Vizquel, but look how quickly he gets rid of it. And then, of course, he throws a strike, and he doesn't throw it straight overhand. There's no time for that. He gets it to Larkin, who throws it a little bit high, but a beautiful play. And when you're going to make a relay, you got to be everything right to get that guy to the plate.
Still top 4, 2-1 Reds. Arrojo is on deck. Denny Nagel intentionally walks Neifi Perez to face Arrojo. And that turns out to be a mistake with the bases loaded, because this ball is in right field for a base hit. It scores Jeffrey Hammonds and Scott Service. Arrojo with all of 3 hits on the season. Top of the 8th now, 4-4 game. Darren Bragg with men at first and second. Single up the middle. Maine scores. And Griffey, kind of a sidearm throw, and he slingshots the thing high to third base. Neifi Perez scores on the play as the ball was rattling around there. The Rocks win 6-4. They've won 8 of their last 11. Jeffrey Hammonds, who's turning into a star like people expected when he first came out of Stanford, extending his hitting streak to 18 games, and the Reds continue to have problems.
Bottom 2 bases loaded. Francisco Cordova. He gets Orlando Cabrera to ground into a 5-2-3 double play and gets out of the inning without being touched. John Vanderwall touched. Tony Armas Jr. hard. Bases loaded. It's a grand slam. He had 2 homers in the night. Cards win at 8-3. They're now 2-0 with Doug in the dugout. That's 1 win for each hump by my count. Vanderwall, his 2nd grand slam this season. He had 0 in his first 9 major league seasons. It was also his first ever multi-home run game, and 8 for the season, a new career high. Though Big Mackey's still not. 7 runs in the 3rd, the Bucs' biggest inning of the year. Lee Stevens hit a pair for Montreal. That's honorable mention. Marlins beer makers, all of Fond du Lac watches with interest. Bottom of the 7th, runners at first and second. Brewers leading 3-1 when Luis Castillo, Jose Hernandez, booty, but they rule that a hit. Marlins inning is alive. And then Mark Kotsay, the bases are chucked, and now they're not. Another grand slam, his 6th homer of the year. Marlins take a 5-3 lead and go on to win it 5-4. Kotsay earned his spot in the buffet line with 4 hits. Marlins 5-1 now in their last 7 dozen ball games. Braden Looper recorded 2 outs in the 7th for the win. Probably didn't even have to shower. Beer makers hit 3 homers off Real Cornelius, who had allowed just 2 previously all season.